Hi friends, it's Becky, and I got my companion bundle from Bargain Bead Box in the mail today, along with several other things that I purchased from Bead Box Bargains, which is the sister store for the Bargain Bead Box. That's where you can find box extras. That's where they put together little companion bundles, and it's also a really great place to find closeout pendants and gemstones and check glass beads, crystal. They pretty much have it all at really, really great prices, and subscribers to Bargain Bead Box get a 30% out discount code that they can use at Bead Box Bargains, and it makes everything there that much cheaper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up and unbox my companion bundle. We'll get it sorted and organized into my 15 grid organizer. And then after the unboxing, if you want to stick around and see what else I got from Bead Box Bargains, they had some seed beads there, so I can show you how I organize my seed beads as well. It's one of the ways that I like to organize seed beads. So we'll do that today. I'm just really excited to share this with y'all. So let's open up. It's been a while since I've done a haul video. So that's where I share like some of the things that I purchased, and you can see like some of the like seed beady kind of beads that they had in there. This, I am really happy that they had that again. But let me get my paperwork out here, because that is going to give me my Tranquil Tides Companion bundle list of all of my items, and then I've got just pages and pages of all of these others that we can go through. I don't know if we'll go through everything all at once in the others, or if I'm going to be skipping some of them, but let me get out my bundle. It's in here somewhere. They don't often have seed beads at Bead Box Bargains. But when they do, it's usually a really, really good price because they sell them in 10-gram bags. And so like a 10-gram bag of seed beads for like $1 is a pretty good price. And they're decent seed beads as well. So I was excited. Some of these are colors that I don't have. So it's pretty fun. I also got some chains and things. But yeah, so let's get this moved out of the way. And now we can check out our Tranquil Tides. It's so hard for me to say that right now. Our Tranquil Tides Companion Bundle. Alright. And if you missed the unboxing for the original Tranquil Tides box, I'll link that in the description below. I'll also have links to Bargain Bead Box and Bead Box Bargains if you want to check out either of them. So we've got all of these. I was really happy to get this octopus again. Well, it's a different octopus actually. We got one that was brass in one of the previous Bargain Bead Boxes, and this one is antique copper. But this was like the main reason why I wanted to get this. It was our little crabby guy. Look at him, he's so sweet and cute, and he's got a wonky eye. I love that. Yay. So I got my crabby guy. I got all these beads. Alright. There it is. Alright, I'm going to start at the beginning with all of this. This is the sodalite and brass medallion. It is lead-free and cadmium-free, but not nickel-free. It is 36 by 33 millimeters in size. That's my sodalite right there. Are we having trouble with autofocus, friends? Maybe? Okay, let me fix this. Alright, we are back to being able to focus. So let's keep going. Focus. There we go. So I'm going to stick this guy in here because it'll fit in that one. And I'll probably be putting my crab underneath there when I get that to my part of my 15 grid organizer. Alright, then we've got our octopus pendant. I don't think my octopus pendant is going to fit in here. It is a very big octopus pendant, and even setting down some of these, it is still going to be way too big to fit in here. But we can take a really good look at it. Now that is a very well made octopus. And some folks had asked or expressed a little bit of wonder about this, like what can you actually do with it. And you see all of these loops here. You could attach dangles to it. It's you could treat it like a great big chandelier connector or something like that. This is the back side of our guy, and this one is nickel free. It is lead free, cadmium free, and it is 56 by 58 millimeters. So it is just a real big guy with a swirly tentacles. That's there. And then we've got some Sodalite matte round beads. I believe that's this one right here. These are 6 millimeters in size. They are 14.5 inches of beads on this strand. And this is all of them there. They make me think of denim. This color, the matte color especially, like blue jeans. I'm going to go ahead and get these guys put in here. And this is a pretty generous strand for these gemstones. 14.5 inches is a lot of gemstones, and they do all fit in this little section here because they're 6 millimeters. If they were bigger, I might have to put down one of the dividers and use 2 sections, and I might have to do that with some of these other gemstone beads, like these gemstone tumbled nugget beads. I love these shape of these beads. They are really beautiful. This is a 7.5 inch strand though, and it looks like these are, we don't have sizes, but it looks like they're ranging anywhere from like 6 millimeters with this one to maybe some larger ones around 10 millimeters or 12. But these are all of them. They are so smooth and pretty. Let's see if they will. I think we're going to need 2 sections on this. I'm going to put it in one and see, because sometimes looks can be deceiving. But I am 100% pretty sure I'm going to need 2 sections. Yep. There we go. I love Sodalite. It is such a great gemstone. There we go. Gives us some more moody blues to fit that theme. Alright, then we've got Sunstone and Moonstone Peach chip beads. That is number 5 here. There's 15 inches of that. Those peachy tones, I love that. And sometimes with this specific gemstone you can catch like a glimmer inside of it. A little bit there too. These are fun. I love these, the nugget shapes, because you can get some really organic type of looks with them. This is a really long strand. Again, we've got a very generous amount of gemstones in this companion bundle. Oop. And I still have more. I bet I can fit it all in this one. It's not that much more. Oop. 4 more. There we go. I got them on there. It is full to the brim, but it will still close, so that is good. Good job, me. Alright, then we've got some 4mm Sunstone faceted cubes. Where are my faceted cubes? No. .5 millimeter. There it is. It's only 3.5 inches of this, but these will be really fun to play with. You can see that faceting when I wiggle this. I'm going to leave them on the strand in here because it's easier sometimes with these smaller beads to, when I'm designing with them, to pull them off the strand as I go when we do that. Then we've got some 8mm agate beads, and these are fantastic. They are dyed and heated. We've got 15 inches of these 8mm beads, and we've got colors that range anywhere from like a carnelian orange to this really light cloudy blue. Isn't that pretty? What a great selection of beads. And this is 15 inches of this, and I believe I am going to need 2 sections for this because a 15-inch strand with 8mm beads will not fit in a single section. I could maybe divide them up between the blue beads and the orange beads and each of them have a separate section. But you know what? I think I will sort them later when I am not already going to be going through all of those other beads that came today. Alright, then we've got some blue spot jasper, faceted rondelles. Where are they? There we go, blue spot jasper. This was one of the gemstones that we got in the bargain bead box. We had a blue spot jasper pendant and some rounds. So these are so beautiful and they go so well with what we already got. But they also are fantastic next to that sodalite. I mean, look at that. Alright, let's just put this guy right in here with the loose strands. They do fit very nicely still on the strand, and it takes a little less time during the unboxing for me to go ahead and put them in there like that. And then we've got some 10mm agate. Is it Dizzy beads? I don't know how to pronounce it. But they're dyed and heated. Dizzy? Maybe it's Z. I don't know. I don't know how it's said or pronounced or anything, but aren't they pretty? I love the designs on these types of beads. They are pretty. So we've got them over there. Alright, then we've got some synthetic coral scallop beads. Alright, these are a really pretty, like, corally pink color. They're 10 by 11 millimeters, and there are 4 of them. I really like this color. It's not as orange as the other synthetic coral pieces that we had in the other box, but it is just, I really like that. It's so pretty. Then we've got some lampwork glass round beads. It's these guys here. They're 10 millimeters in size. And they have this splash pattern around them. Not quite sure where to put these yet, so we'll just stick them here for now, next to the Z beads. I may do some roommate situations with some of these as we go a little further because we are getting pretty full here on our organizer. Alright, then we've got our lampwork glass crab bead in orange. He's just a cute little guy, and here's his backside and his underside. And there he is on the front with his one wonky eye. What a cutie patootie. He's going in here with these coral guys. And crystal bicone beads in apricot AB. That would be this one right here. They are 4 millimeters in size, and this is an 11-inch strand. We've got that opaque apricot color, and I'm just wiggling this so you can get a look at the sparkle on that AB finish. I'm really happy that these are not on the wire that crystal beads tend to show up on sometimes. It's just regular plastic. That one is stuck on here. Let me do that. It's on there like a stop bead. That's beautiful. Love it, love it, love it. Now we've got some porcelain turtle beads. This was another reason for me to get this. I love these turtle beads. They're so great. They're 19 by 14 millimeters. I love porcelain beads too. And these guys are just beautiful. And it looks like with these beads, they are the same front and back. So we don't have a right side and a wrong side, but we do have an up and down. We have head to tail. And that's the way that the hole runs on these guys. Head to tail on them. And it's got a pretty decent size hole. It looks like you could string like some 1 millimeter leather through there, or you could use it with some macrame and not have to worry too much about the size of the cord that you're using. I'm going to stick them in here with these lampwork beads because I think that they'll be fun friends in there. Can't leave them by themselves. And now we've got some findings. First one are some rope accent bead caps, like this. These are lead-free, nickel-free, and cadmium-free. They are 5 by 4 millimeters. I'm happy that I actually got some bead caps this time because they were missing from my bargain bead box, and I know I could have reached out to customer support to ask them to send them to me, but it felt like such a small thing to ask for. They would have done it. Their customer service is fantastic, but I just didn't. But I'm happy that I've got some bead caps to play with in this order, so we can play around with those. Stick them there. And then we've got some rope accent spacer beads as well. It's these guys. They're also lead-free, nickel-free, and cadmium-free. They're 5 by 4 millimeters in size. They also have a decent size hole. These would be great on leather, like 1 millimeter leather, or on some cord in a macrame design or something like that. All right, I'm going to stick them in here with my bead caps. There we go. I think that's a good place for them to roommate with. And then we've got some rope accent looped links. It's these guys right here. I like the rope accent is so fantastic for like a nautical theme, I think. And these are great because you could like take it and attach 3 different points and have it as a chandelier, or you might use these in a design with like a link between them and then maybe a link between those or something to do maybe a netted kind of a look in a design. That would be really fun, actually. I'm going to stick those in there. And the 2 sets of rope accent toggle clasps. Now it does not say on here whether these are nickel free or not, so we're going to assume that they're not. It's the safe thing to do. But they are a very decent size toggle clasp. I'm going to set them in here like that. And then the very last one, it was hiding under here. it's also the last on the list, is the 2.5mm Sunstone and Moonstone Faceted Round Beads. This is a 14-inch strand. They are so very pretty. I love how it ranges anywhere from this taupe color or this clear crystal all the way through to like those dark peach tones. I'm just gonna snip off the ends of these just so they're not so long. And then go ahead and put this guy in here with my cubes because they will both fit very nicely together in there. Maybe I'll snip this one off a little bit too, just for fun's sake. Alright. And there we have the companion bundle for the Tranquil. I keep wanting to call it Tranquil Tides, and that's not what it is, but that's what keeps coming out of my face. Tranquil Tides Companion Bundle. Yeah. Someday I will be able to pronounce this correctly, I think. Tranquil Tides. There we go. It is the companion bundle for that. And again, I will have a link in the description below to Bargain Bead Box and Bead Box Bargains. I'm going to actually fold this up and set it on top of this because that way I will know exactly what's in here when I go to look for it on my shelf, and I'll have a list of all the things that are inside of it in my organizer. But this doesn't fit in here, so it's gonna just set on top of it when I do. All right, let's get looking at some of the other things that I got. All right, this is gonna be a very long list. All right, chain. Let's do, I don't know if you guys need to look at all of the different chains or findings, but let's go. Maybe I can do this in waves. Let's do chains first, and then we'll go through the rest. I'll be right back after I get all the chains out. Alright, so chain, I usually skip findings when I do my haul videos, but it was really fun to get some chain. There were some really fun ones in there. This is chain or wire 399, and it is 4x5mm steel twist joy chain. It's curb chain. That's what it is. This is a great chain to use in little segments as extender chains on bracelets or something like that. You can put a little charm on the end and have all of these little segments in here that you can attach a clasp, like a lobster clasp to, when you do that. So that is a fun use for that chain. And then we've got wire 414. That is a 3x4 Figaro steel in antique copper. I love Figaro chain where you've got like the big link and then some small links and that sort of thing. And this antique copper is one that sometimes it's easier to find chain in like stainless steel or in silver or in gold color, but not as often in copper. So it's nice to be able to grab that when I do see it. And you've got 8x5.5 stainless steel twisted oval jewelry chain, and it's 1 meter. By the way, the length for each of these is 1 meter, but look at how fun this is. It's kind of sparkly. It's a large link, so it's something that you could add a bit more chunkiness to in a necklace, maybe something fun and funky, but it's got a little bit of shine and sparkle to it. Love that. Now I don't have like whether they're nickel free on my page, on my paper, but they do have that on the listings on the website. That's why I'm sharing these numbers, so you can look them up if you want to, see if they still have them available. So 455 is textured oval jewelry chain in gunmetal. Actually, no, is it oval? I feel like 455. Those look round. I think this is Rolo chain, actually, but it's in gunmetal. Did I get the right one? You know what? I'm not mad about it. I like Rolo chain. And then there's some steel oval chain in gunmetal that is 7 by 4 millimeter. It is wire 473. It's a bit bigger links on that. And then wire 486. It's 5 by 3 oval in gunmetal. And yeah, this is oval. That other one is round, so that was Rolo chain. This one's oval chain. Then 488, we've got some more antique copper chain. It's a 4 by 2.5 steel oval chain. On that. And then wire 502. It's a stainless steel cable jewelry chain. And it's 5 by 4 millimeter for the links. This one is 503. It's flat cable jewelry chain. I like that because you get a little bit of flash from those flat sides in that kind of chain. They are smaller links than the other one. 504. This is a cool chain. It is 4 by 2 millimeter stainless steel Venetian box chain. How fun is that? It has such a great geometric shape to it. It would be really fantastic on like modern-ish types of designs. Diamond cut faceted cable jewelry chain. This is 5 by 4 millimeters. 506 is the number on that one. And with that faceting, it adds some sparkle. Love that. 510 is more diamond cut Figaro jewelry chain. So we've got some sparkle and shine on that one too. Love Figaro chain. It's so pretty. 519, we've got some steel Rolo chain in antique copper. These are 5 millimeter. They're a little bit bigger than my gunmetal ones. These are also sometimes good for extender chains. If you can manage to fit the end of your lobster clasp into those holes. But I really like curb chains for those more. Alright, then we've got 523. This one is textured Rolo jewelry chain in gold, and this is 7 millimeters for our links. And it looks like they're split links, so we can unhook them and not, each time we make a section, we wouldn't have to cut it. But it's got the texture on it. I like this. It's big and chunky and super fun. And then I've got some, this is 525. This is antique gold, 7 by 4 millimeter oval chain, like this. And then I've got the same type of chain in this antique silver color for wire 526. Like that. And then next one is antique copper 4 by 3 textured steel cable chain, so it's a smaller chain, but with this this texture, it kind of looks like rope, and I think this would actually be a great chain to use with the companion bundle that I just unboxed with y'all. Maybe I'm going to set this aside and actually put it with that. I'm going to go do that right now while I'm thinking about it. And I've got some rose gold wire, and this is double Rolo, double link. They're 4 millimeter. It's kind of like, hey, focus again, guys. There we go. It's kind of like a chainmail-ish sort of thing. I like that. But again, rose gold is one of those colors that isn't quite as common. And then we've got some more antique copper. Oof. And that's these. It's 4.5 by 3. More textured chain, but it's oval chain instead of the Rollo chain on that. So I'm just going to get these guys back in here for now. And let's take a look at some of those beads that I got. They had some lined bicones that I'm just in love with. I love this type of bead. So we've got these, the number for these. This one's glass 1341, and this one is peach and pink swirl. I don't think I'm going to be putting these into my seed bead organizers. I'm going to figure out a different way of organizing them. I thought about maybe putting them in one of these, but I've only got 10 spaces in this. I've got 13 of these. So I will figure out how to and where to put them. But I love this one. The peach and pink swirl, I think, is one of my favorites. Absolutely love that one. And then next, this one is crystal with lemon chiffon lining. This one is crystal with raspberry lining. And I'm sorry, I'm not opening them up because they're not easily reclosable. This one is crystal with mulberry swirl, so that deep purpley color on the inside. This one is crystal with mint green. It's such a pretty tealy blue color. This one is crystal with mocha, so you've got like a nice deep brown color on there on that lining. Some crystal with, which one is this? Lime green, 644. I should have been doing some numbers with these for y'all, but we're just gonna keep going. Alright, this one is crystal lilac luster. This one's crystal with sea green. What's my lime green? Oh, that was this one. Okay. Yep. I like this sea green. It's really relaxing, kind of a calming green. Alright, this is crystal love with chiffon luster. So you can see this is crystal with chiffon, lemon, and this is crystal chiffon lemon luster, and one of them is just shinier and sparklier than the other. It's kind of the difference between those two. The rest of these are luster color ones as well. So this one is 67, crystal with peach. I love that peach. Absolutely adore it. This one is 688, crystal raspberry luster. And this one is, which one is this? 69, crystal pink luster. Then I got these teeny tiny drooks. A whole bunch of these. We'll go through them real quick. 543. This one is Sapphire AB. And these are 3mm drook beads, so they're teeny tiny little beads. And 042, that's Montana Blue with an AB finish. I really like these Montana Blue with AB finish type of beads, check glass beads, because it reminds me so much of the flash that you get with labradorite. And they're really great beads to accompany labradorite in a design, I think. They just, you know, they call it out, they make it feel like it's similar. Anyway, with the AB finish just on half of the bead feels a lot like labradorite flash. It's one of the reasons I like this type of bead. Then we've got some peridot color. This really light, beautiful springy green. And frosted rosaline. Is that this one, or is it this one back here? 48. That's this one. Frosted Rosaline with an AB finish. It's just a super, super light pink. Love that. Light sky blue. Again, these are all 3mm. This is 702. This one is 704, is just Rosaline. That was this one right here. That light peachy pink. That is one of my favorite colors of check glass. Right, then we've got Varied Olivine. Oh, these are Forget-Me-Not flowers. That's these guys. You can use these as spacers and things really well and easily. That's this 1034. But this is the olivine color for that. Fantastic, probably, to use these and these maybe in a design. Maybe with a few other pink beads, or maybe these purple ones. If you wanted to get some good, like, what is it called? Some more springtime flavors going on with those. And then we've got a few other colors. 30, this is Ruby Red. Love this red, absolutely adore it. And actually I've got another thing that I got. It's a very similar color of red, so I'm going to set these aside so I can put these with it. Just make myself a little bundle with that. Where else are we going? Right. 029, this one is Rose Opal. So that is a more dusty rose sort of a color. I also got some of these cobalt color coin beads. These are just some 6mm ones. 1022. 1026, this is deep violet color. More of the 3mm drooks. And then 33. Alright, these are 4mm beads, so they are larger than the 3 ones. Let me pull out those 3, size 3. But it's also Rosaline, that's the color. It's deeper in this glass because there's just more glass to the color on that. And then this last one, this is 705. There we go, pink silk. Alright, let's get these guys put away here. These were sort of in order because I'm going to be going through the different seed beads that we had here. And there are a bunch of different types. Some of them are 6/0 seed beads, some of them are these like sort of a weird cylinder shape, which is fun. It's going to be fun with these, but as I'm putting them away, I'm going to be putting them in here to organize them. So I'll grab my marker because I like to write the size of the bead on the cap here so that I know what I'm looking at when I'm going through that. Alright, so the first one here, there we go, this 587. This is a 10-gram bag of Preciosa Ornello 10-0 round seed beads in gray chalk. There we go. So since they are 10-0, not 11-0, we're going to go ahead and write that on the top so that I know what size they are. They're going to be larger than 11-0 seed beads, just a little bit, but not as large as 8-0s or 6-0s. 10-0 is a really common size for check glass seed beads to be. There we go, so we've got that one. Put them away there. Next we've got some 9-0 seed beads in orchid. So these are just a little bit larger. They're 588. I love this orchid color. I think actually this color would go really well with my Crafty Cup box. honestly. These are definitely like some one-off sort of sizes with all of that. Definitely more on the interesting side of these beads. All right, then we've got some 10-0 seed beads. These are round seed beads, just like the others. And these are 5089. They are aqua color. Sorry, I was having trouble tearing from the side. I know with the ridges, they're made to tear easily. I'm just trying to give myself a little less stressful bag opening today. So that's why I grabbed the scissors. You can see like a 10-gram bag fills up a good portion of these. I will put a link to this type of bead organizer. They're one of my favorite ways of storing seed beads. I'll put that in the description below if you want to check them out. I got them from Amazon. It's about, let's see how tall this is. They have shorter ones, but this one is about 2 inches high. It's closer to 5 centimeters, yeah, 2 inches, 5 centimeters. So that's this one. They do make some that are shorter too, if you have fewer seed beads that you want to organize. Alright, so these ones are also 10-0s. Now I could have already written these things on the cap, but 5090. These are green, just green, that's the name. They're kind of a lime color. Light and springy. It's a very pleasant green. It's not like an eye-searing light, bright green. It's not violently green. Alright, next there are yellow green. That's this one right here. And these are also 10-0s. The majority of these will be 10-0, but then we'll have some different shapes a little bit further in the bit of this. So 5091 for these. This isn't a color that I would normally go for. It's kind of a little chartreusey, but there are things that you could mix this with to make like a really good bead mix, or that would accompany in a design that that might be useful for. And that's something that I've learned as I've been using more seed beads, is that some individual colors of seed beads that might turn me off look great with other colors. And so I have learned to be way more accepting about like weird colors and that sort of thing as I'm going through this journey of having fun with seed beads. Is that, you know, it might not be a color that you go for, but if you put it into a bead mix with these, see, these three would be a fantastic bead mix together. In fact, like this brown and this would complement these two brighter colors a lot. So that's worth something. That's definitely worth something. Alright, so 5092, which color is this? Looks like it's got a bit of a travertine. It does. It's opaque light green with travertine, so that travertine brings it up to a much darker brown color. And it says it's 10-0, but I feel like these are smaller than the others. Whoop! It really helps to get the seed beads into one of these if the lid is off first. Pro tip. just as an FYI, take the lid off, friends. Here, I'm gonna put a couple of these on a dish and get them up a little bit closer so you can see these, because they are so tiny and they have some interesting colors happening in there. But yeah, again, these would probably be great with some of these other greens. Get kind of a camo colorway going. Something fun like that. But these are, again, it says that they are 10 O's. I feel like they're a little bit smaller. They might be 11 O's and it might just be miscounted, but I'm going by what it says on my receipt and I'm marking this as a 10 O. And where is my, hold on. Okay, sorry about that. My autofocus was being wonky on me. Alright. I hope y'all don't mind sitting around and hanging out with me while I sort these seed beads. I know I've had questions about how I sort seed beads before, so I thought this would be a great time to address that when I got some new seed beads that didn't already come in their own little organizers. Alright, so then 1593, that's the next one. These are peach. They're kind of a very beige peach. Again, they are 10O seed beads. There you go. Right. And these last ones are also 10O, so I'm going to go ahead and write that now. This is 5094, and these are our Rose Terra SFINX Sphinx. Rose Terra, I can see that though. That's kind of an earthy pink, maybe almost a pink leaning terracotta, light terracotta. Don't know what the Sphinx means though. One thing about seed beads is sometimes they will cling to things because of static electricity. So that's why I was trying to knock those out of there, and there's already, it's clinging to the sides of that. Again, static electricity. But still, this is really fun, light rosy color. I think it would look great with this blue. Maybe the purple too? I don't know. Alright, now these ones are different. These are the two-cut Rocile or Rosile, I don't know how to pronounce it, seed beads. And this one is Violet Rainbow. They are still 10O on the size, but they've got some faceting on them. So let's get a couple of them on here and bring them up a little bit closer so you can see them a little bit better, so they're not round. They are sort of a faceted cylinder shape. Not quite hex. They're called 2-cut on the listing. I mean, that one looks a little hexagonal. Maybe they are. That one looks a little hexagonal too. Maybe I'll call them hex. So 10-0 hex. Let's do 10H. Because I use D to denote like delicas, that sort of thing, so that should give me sort of a better feel for what I am looking at when I'm just looking at my labels. And that one was 50.95. I'm just trying to get it out of the bag right now so I can get it scooped a little bit easier. But I love this color. Isn't that a pretty purple? It's Purple Rainbow is what it's called. So 10H. Right, and then we've got turquoise green, 50.96. See, I'm just having trouble. Sometimes it's just easier to bypass the struggle and use something else to get that in here. So these turquoise. Let's get this up here so you can see that fun shape. Well, they're not as even as like delicas or something are. Delicas are a very uniform shape. They do have the, instead of rounded edges, they've got some straight across edges. And they are very pretty when the light hits them. I like that with the different faceting sort of things on them. All right, then we've got some that are yellow satin. This is 50.97. I like this because it's on the transparent side. And the faceting just gives it so much more like dimensionality on there. Like that. With these beads. These are fun. These are really fun beads. I'm glad that I decided to grab them when I saw them on the website. These were things that were new last week. I don't know if they're still on the website or not. That's why I give you the number, so you can look it up if you want to. See if it's there. I do purchase entirely too many things from Bead Box Bargains, but sometimes you get really cool things that are totally unique, or, you know, something that you may not have seen before. They pop up there and you're like, ooh, let's grab that for very cheap. Which is what happened there. Alright, 50.98. Let me get that color for you. Red satin. So that's kind of a strawberry pink. It's not red, but it's not like a purpley pink or anything like that. Actually, it's more, maybe almost on the coral side. Ooh. Is it? Ooh, friends. I like that. I may use these with some of the things that I make with these because they are just about the right perfect color to go with those shell beads. Fantastic. Fantastic. And those shell beads, like, hopefully they've got more on the site so you can maybe get some. Because they are just such a pretty color. I like that. Come on, guys. Get out of there. How fun is that? Hey, friends. Into the container. That's your new home. Alright. Ooh. Now we've got some that this is actually, like, those are 10s. These are 11s. So 11H for this one. It is blue green satin. 11H. That's $50.99. I really like this, like, sort of moody blue color that we've got going on there. Oh, friends. It's alright. That's what we got the scoop out for. It's for all of these guys who just didn't make it from the bag into here. I think, yeah, I like that color. It's really pretty. And then this one is also the same, but it is this beautiful, warm, goldeny, like peachy color. Love that. This is like sunshine. Sunsetty sunshine. $5,100 for that one. It's orange satin is what it's called. And it's also 11 with the 2 cut, which I'm calling H because it takes up less space on the lid than 2 cut, or like the number 2. Like, would I remember what the 2 meant? I don't know. The reason you write labels or identifiers is so that you know what it is the next time you go to see it. Alright, let's get all these guys out of here. I'm just having some fun with beads, my friends, because I have needed fun with beads. It is absolutely my biggest plan for the weekend is to play with beads. That is what I'm going to be doing, and hopefully I'll be doing it with y'all. I am going to be doing a late night beading with Beki tonight, so I hope to see y'all then. I'll get that scheduled probably before I finish uploading this, so that you guys will get the notification that it has been scheduled. Alright. We've got some more going. Now this reminds me of a Delica bead. Because it's cylindrical, it looks fairly uniform in size and shape. But this is check glass. And so they're calling this one check bugle seed beads. It is a 1/2 millimeter bugle bead though. So instead of, you know, the long tube that you have with a bugle bead, it's a shorter tube. So it is a 1/2 millimeter long. Oop. But it reminds me of Delicas, so But again, they're not as uniform as Delica's, so you've got one that's a little bit longer here, some that are a little bit shorter right next to it. But they are probably some pretty fun beads to play around with. And they've got this fun luster on them that just really gives it some shine. And Delica is like, it's the Miyuki brand of cylinder beads. Toho has Toho Treasures, which are the also cylinder beads. There we go. So this is, how am I going to label this one? 0.5 millimeter bugle. There we go. That's a good label. Alright, this next one, this 102. This is mixed ersatz and langsatz beads. They are 3 millimeters in size. And I have not used these beads before. They're very much, they remind me a little bit of pony beads a little bit, but they're glass beads. And they are some fun cylinders. Let's get a couple on here. Whoop. Let's say they're almost the size of maybe 8-0 seed beads, but not quite. Yeah, they're 3 millimeters. The ones that are called ersatz and langsatz, I'm going to write EL on my lid. So EL 3 millimeter. Alright, and this one is, it's 3.3 to 2.2 millimeter ersatz and langsatz beads. So these are smaller than the other ones that I just had. They're EL, and they're 3 too. I'm just going to put that on there. I'll know what it means. 5103. The color for this is opaque red coral. And that is just a really gorgeous bright red. I think it's so red. It's very red. I do like a nice coral red though. Which again, that's another color that has grown on me. Oops, there we go. Alright, these are the same as the others, but it's a different color. This is dark coral red, 1504, and so that's EL32. Alright, these ones are more bugle beads. See, these are longer than the others. So this is a blue rainbow. The other ones were much shorter. the yellow ones that we had. Those were 1/2 millimeter. These are 2mm bugles. And that's the blue rainbow color. So it's like it's got a little a light finish on it. These are 2mm bugles. Like that. This way I know what beads I'm using when I go to use them, if I've got the marking on the lid. Alright, so that was, again, the color on that one was blue rainbow. We've got another one that's green turquoise, 5106, same size as that one. I have a lot of plastic to clean up after this. That's okay. That's part of the playing with beads, is knowing you're gonna clean up after yourself when you're done. Millimeter bugles. Bugle beads are fun. There was a pendant that I made from my kit that used bugle beads around the inside of the Rivoli bezel. It was really great, and these might be fun to use in a situation like that. What am I doing? 2mm bugle. Alright, now we're getting into some 6/0 seed beads. And you know, sometimes you need a good neutral. So 5107. These are 6/0. Actually, I think this one, yes, this one's a 6/0 seed bead. It is gray chalk. So 6/0. Now it's funny how 8/0 seed beads used to be the smallest seed bead that I would ever use back when I only used seed beads for adding bling to my knitting. And now I handle the 6/0 seed beads and I'm like, oh, these are huge. It's funny how your perception can change, isn't it? So 5108 is the next one. And this one, oh, look at that shine on that. That is so, I love that. It's just this shiny teal. Shiny, shiny teal. It's blue-green metallic is the name of this color. Blue-green metallic. I love that. But I love a good 6/0 seed bead. I really do. Size 6/0 seed bead is the perfect size to use with fingering weight yarn if you are doing beaded lace or something like that, or adding beads to your knitting. So 6/0 seed beads have a very special place in my heart. Always will. But if you were to do like a shawl with a bunch of beads on it, you would probably need about maybe 20 more bags of this like that, just to get enough for it, because it does take a lot of beads to do that. I used to buy them in bulk, like Preciosa strands of seed beads. Just multiple strands. Where are we going? We need green turquoise. That's what this one is. No, 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 no. I am at the wrong place. It's just green, not green turquoise. Look at that light pastel-y green color. Isn't that great? It's 5109. for that. Thanks for staying with me all this time while I get these things sorted. It is a lot of fun to open up my beads, play with them, and get them somewhere. But sometimes when I do like a haul video or something, I'll show you what I've got and then put it aside and tell myself that I'll put it away later. And I decided I wasn't going to do that with these seed beads. We were going to get them all racked up and put in here right away so that I have them and so they don't just sit in a bag on a shelf waiting for me to do something with them. All right, 5110. This is Rose Terra. It is the same color as these 10-O's, like that, except without, I guess, that Sphinx color? I don't know. No, this is the one. No, this is the one. Yes, Rose Terra. Also, another reason to not pre-do the lids is that what if I had grabbed the wrong size lid or something that didn't go with it and not noticed it until later? This way I know exactly what I'm putting in there. This is almost full of the seed beads that I got from this last haul. All right, we've got one more. Where are we going? Orange. Oh, these are different. These are 5-0 seed beads. I have not seen those before, but they are orange opal is the color on this one. And that is such a soft orange. It is just one of those dreamy oranges. It's almost got peachy tones to it. This one right here. See these two being used together in something very easily, that pastel-y green and this this opal orange, and that's 5111. Yeah, it's a very peachy orange, extremely peachy. I like it. I like it. All right, we've got two more over here. Not that much more. 5112 is this one, and I love this color of orange. It is like a fire just deep inside of there. It is a silver lined seed bead for these 6-0 seed beads, but then it's also got a matte finish. So that color coming through from the silver lining just makes it glow from the inside. Absolutely in love with this. I want to get more of these if they still have some available because they're just really beautiful. The color is matte orange, silver lined. And isn't that pretty? These are just gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. You know, for someone who's not an orange guy, I sure have a lot of favorite oranges. Woo! Again, remember what I told you about it being much easier to put this in if the lid is off? It still holds true, even when you're distracted by pretty oranges. Why am I like this? Where I'm like, I don't really like orange as a color, and then I find all these different colors of orange that just make me happy. I don't understand that. It could be that, like, whenever I hear the word orange, I always see, like, a specific shade of orange in my head. And then when I see something like this, it's completely different. Like, that's not orange to me. It's a shade within the orange family, but that's not what that means to me. But look at how that shines. Ugh, so pretty. Love that so much. All right, and then we've got one last one, and then we'll be done for the day. All right, this one. Oof. This is an air sets and long sets, I think, too. It is 5mm ones, though, so they are much, much bigger. Much bigger beads. 5113. Ooh, and they're mixed, so it looks like we've got a couple that are darker, some that are lighter. It's cornflower blue is the color. I've got one that's broken. Let me pull that one out. I don't want to put that in my thing and then be disappointed when I go to use it. Alright, so the broken one, that bit that's broken is out. There we go. So that's this one here. And so EL5. There we go. Explain like I'm 5. Those are really fun beads. Alright friends, let's take a look at all of these seed beads that I have organized. It is a frequently asked questions, how do you organize your seed beads? Sometimes I will go through and take some of the beads from my curated collections and I'll get them transferred into some of these so that I have a better way of organizing these, but they stack really nicely on each other with the lid on, and then you can pull them out and you can see what you've got from the outside. So I can see, just looking in, whether or not it's something that I am going to need to open or not. Just right there from the outside. Look again. I will put a link to these organizers in the description if y'all are interested in getting some, and I'll put a link to Bead Box Bargains and a link to Bargain Bead Box as well. I have a coupon code you can use for the first month of your subscription. If you want to subscribe, you get 30% off coupon every month that you can use at the Bead Box Bargains store, which is honestly one of my favorite places to buy beads from. Oh, I almost forgot. There was 2 extra things in here that we didn't get to. They were this dragonfly pendant. Look how beautiful this is. Pendant 3235. Let's not forget about this. It is so pretty. It is antique silver with cyan enamel. Oof, but it is 64 by 54 millimeters. It is not articulate, but look how sparkly this is. Look how sparkly. That is just gorgeous. I need to figure out something to do with it that will do it some justice. But that was something that I absolutely, when I saw it, I was like, I cannot miss out on beautiful dragonfly pendants again. Because I missed out when they had a dragonfly before that I missed out on. And I loved it. So pretty. And then this, it's a koi. It is a brass and cubic zirconia koi pond with a fish. It is 21 by 19 millimeter and is plated in 18 karat gold, and you can see the sparkles on that koi fish. This is the back side, like that. That's the front side. It's about the same size. It's a little bit smaller than a quarter, something like that. So here we go. That's it in my hands. There we go. You can see the fish glittering. Anyway, that was an additional purchase that was right at the bottom of my list. So we had that. So we had the Tranquil Tides bundle, which we sorted. We had all of these seed beads, which we sorted. We had all of these lined bicones and some 3mm drooks that we all oohed and awed over, and I had a whole bunch of chain that I can use in my things. So I'm going to get those put away in other receptacles, and in the meantime I've got these, and I'll have a link to my favorite organizers as well. Anyway, until next time, my friends, happy beading.